And I'm going to use my new deal analyzer. I have not used my new deal analyzer on the facility that we have now. We've had this facility for 5 years, so I've been investing in self-storage for 5 years. As of July last month, it's been 5 years now. And so we've come up very far for 5 years. So we bought 11 storage facilities in the last 5 years. We're buying our 12th one next week, so I'm really excited about that. Pete, my husband, manages all that. Kind of, you know, I find them and fund them, and then my husband manages them. So his job is, as soon as we get it under contract, he kind of takes over, and then he sets up the company and gets all the management stuff ready and everything. So he's doing that. He's very busy with that. And let's see what else. I think that's it really about me. This facility I'm going to go over. This is a really good first facility, right? So everybody here all wants to buy their first facility, get their foot in the door. And so I'll kind of give you an idea of like what I did too. And actually the first facility for finding them, right, was kind of a little bit different because this was 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, you know, like going onto the MLS and finding like anything was possible. Right now, you go on the MLS to find anything that's like a good deal. It's like not possible, right? And so what happened was I've been investing in real estate for 10 years. And from 2011 to 2015, I was rehabbing homes. I was the crazy person that did like 10 or 15 rehabs at the same time. And it was just nuts, right? And I rehabbed 100 homes in 5 years, right? And I do not like recommend that for anybody at all. Do not do that. And because it's just too much work, man. Now that I'm in storage, like why would anybody want to, why should you do rehabbing? But some people love it, I guess. I don't know. But so yeah, so then what happened? So I was rehabbing all these homes, and then in 2016, I got pregnant and with Lillian, my daughter. And at that time I was doing like 10 or 12 rehabs. I was doing a lot of rehabs. And I started like freaking out about like how much time it was taking me to do all these rehabs. And so then I started talking to my realtor and telling him that I wanted to start doing something else. And my realtor, I had been using, he's still my realtor as of today. So, excuse me, I'm still kind of sort of getting over COVID, but so just my voice kind of goes out sometimes, just FYI. But anyways, yeah, so I talked to my realtor, his name's Richard, and I basically told him, you know, that I wanted to like start looking for some passive income. And so he started getting out there and looking for me. And we looked at like multifamily, we looked at all kinds of different deals. And then this is the one that he found. And so he called me up and he said, okay, I found a storage facility. What do you think about storage? And I was like, oh yeah, storage sounds good. And Richard's the kind of person too, he's like a great type of realtor to have on your team. Like, and I don't have anything against realtors except for, you know, sometimes, you know, there's just different types of realtors. But Richard really only works with investors. But what he does is he gets up every day and he kind of looks for like deals on the MLS. And he just is kind of like, just, you know, he'll send you like deals that he thinks that it wouldn't even be storage. It could just be whatever. So like this morning I got a deal from him, and it was and he sent me these several times because he knows that I'm like, you know, an investor. So like, I'm an entrepreneur. So like, oh, maybe she might be interested in this. And so he sent me it was for sale, and it was a marina. It was a marina, right? So it was like this long dock and all these like boating spaces, and there was like like office space and stuff like this. He's like, what do you think about this? You know, and I was like, this is so like not in what I'm doing, you know, whatever. But he'll just send me like stuff like that is what he does. So he sent me over this storage facility. He's like, what about this thing? You know, there's a storage facility. And this is back when like the storage facilities could be on the MLS, and they would just be like, nobody would be buying, right? This is back in the day. And so this storage facility had been sitting on the market for 5 years and nobody bought it. And so I was like, oh yeah, storage, that sounds kind of cool. Let me go check that out. And it was only like 20 minutes from my house. And that was honestly one of the main reasons I went over and looked at it, because everything else I'd have to drive to and go 30, 40, and, you know, Atlanta traffic is like not good. And so, yeah, so it was like 20 minutes. So I drove over. I was like, let me go check it out. So I drove over and took a look at it. And I was like, yeah, this is something I'm very interested in, at least trying to figure out if it's a good deal or not, and like this kind of thing. I was like, so I called up Richard and I was like, all right, so let's just meet the owner, and I want to talk to him and I want to get the story. Is like, why has it been sitting on the market for 5 years? This kind of thing. And so he scheduled a time with me to go meet the owner. And I brought Pete with me, and I brought and I think I was pregnant at the time. So I just had this big belly. I was pregnant. It was with Pete, and we walked the property. I also brought my lender with me because at that time I was about to finish up a rehab and I was going to roll that money over into something. And that lender, I was like, I'm going to roll it into something, but I don't know what. I was like, what about a storage facility? And he was like, yeah, storage is fine. So I was like, why don't you come over and check this out? And you tell me if you think you would be interested in lending me the money on this. So I brought my lender with me as well too. And that's like a tip or a trick for like, especially for people. I take my lenders to my places a lot of times. If they like back in the day, I used to take my lenders to like just show them what we were buying and stuff, which is a good, because then they feel part of the team and stuff.